Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
A General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for December 15th through 18th. We're going to do this.
We're going to get through it.
We make no promises.
We're going to get through it.
I promise that. I promise that. You've made it through 100% of your worst days.
There you go.
Yep. So for Port Charles Pipeline, we're going to wait on it. We're going to go. That's going to be last.
Okay.
I am dictating that.
You're driving this boat.
All right. So correction to our last Bobbie episode. Felicia did not shoot, and I caught myself on this listening to her in the shower. Felicia didn't shoot Peter August. She hit him over the head with a tire iron.
Ah, there you go.
It was, I started laughing at myself saying she'll shoot your son, but not you. And then I was like, wait a second. She hit him over the head. Yeah. She hit him over the head with a tire iron. Did I have anything else about that episode? No. Also, random thought. This is why, guys, I use Aqua Notes. Okay. Aqua Notes is a waterproof notepad that I've had for years. And it comes with a little pencil, or full-size pencil. It says, no good ideas go down the drain.
That's who we need to ask to sponsor us.
I wanted to create them. And then when I think of something, I'm like, wonder if it's already a thing. I've had them for years. For a while, my family was playing hangman on them. I write like random quotes. We draw each other pictures. It's actually kind of fun. So, and it erases. But anyway, this is not about that. What if the amazing heart doctor in Boston is David Hayward?
Oh,
I know Vincent Irizarry just went on another show, right? He just went on.
I have no idea, but I think I would absolutely love that.
Me too, obviously. He just went on to, what is he on right now? New show. Boulevard. I thought that he just went on a new soap. Hold on a second. Brand new soap launches with old school format. This was in April. Yeah, it's Montecito. Oh, hold it. This article on Soap Hub from April says, soaps are making a huge comeback. How did we not know about this? Because we knew about Beyond the Gates. Why have we not? So Beyond the Gates premiered in February.
Right.
And then it says, this is good news for those who can't get enough of soap operas and storytelling. Michael Fairman teased big news on X, formerly Twitter. A new soap opera titled Montecito is in the works, but there's a twist. It will be streamed in an old school format. Since the 60s, other soaps have used audio format. Oh, so is it going to be like The Guiding Light and only be like a podcast? I mean, okay, guys. Okay, younger fans. The Guiding Light started as a radio show, which would be the equivalent of podcast today. And we talked about this, I feel like a couple years ago, about how full circle it's kind of come that now we're going back to audio. Okay, blah, 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 blah. The latest series features an impressive ensemble cast of Janelle Allen, Tanya Walker. That's Olivia Jerome, Amelia Marshall, Lauren B. Martin, John Driscoll, Frank Dikopoulos, Dorel Anthony, and others. And then further down, it says the cast photo featured Crystal Chappelle, Mike Manning, Rick Hurst, Emmy Rylan,
okay,
Kelly Thibaud. We always mispronounce her name, and Vincent Irizarry. Oh, Mark Samuel's in there too.
And this has started, or it's still in the works?
It has started. It premiered on April 22nd.
Oh, well then, yeah, we need to take a listen.
It's on YouTube. We're going to subscribe. All right, where are we? Audio soap opera. So it looked like 20-minute episodes. Oh, this looks interesting. Okay, I'm not obviously going to full deep dive into this right now, but it looks like 15, 20-minute things, like little videos. Well, because, okay, I'm trying to figure this out. All right, I'm trying to figure this out. If you guys know about this, okay, the full podcast, they've had 12 episodes. So is it like one a month? Well, no, because that would be like 2 a month would be. But yeah, it looks like it's only 20, 25 minutes. So I wonder if like each little episode is like a little snippet.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if it's only 20 minutes, but then General Hospital is only like 30, 35. So but you can get a lot done in those extra 15 minutes. But either way, okay. So if that's what he's on, and if Rick Hurst is on that also, that means he could do both, is where we are going with this.
Right.
because I just remembered seeing him announce he got booked for something. So I'm like, woohoo! I'm horrible and didn't actually look at what it was. Okay,
I
so
would be
he is
very happy.
absolutely, according to Shannon, available to bring David Hayward to Port
Yes.
Charles with Maxie because, oh, who's her godmother?
Right? That would be
Hannah Devane.
awesome.
I want that to happen so badly.
That would
Oh,
be
oh, oh,
awesome.
the other thing about the Bobbie episode, just the irony of this week. We talked heavily about how they never talk about Nina and Valentine being together or Nina and Charlotte having a relationship. And guys, we recorded that well before those episodes happened this week.
Yep.
So, and now here we have Brennan using it as a tool, which we'll get into more, but I feel like
And Charlotte didn't act like it had been forever since she saw Nina. It was like,
right.
oh, you're stopping over for a visit again. Like we just hung out last week,
Yep.
even though they've never conveyed that to us once.
And then, so the judge in Willow's trial
Mm-hmm.
is Judge Sullivan, but there was a Judge Sullivan before, and
Oh,
it was a lady.
well, maybe it is her husband.
Maybe. Okay, let's get the judges in here. I know we had that judge. We're always going to forget his name, the one that Monica had the thing of. Like, why don't we have? What the heck was his name? We just talked about it.
We did just talk about it.
I forget. But
Yeah, I don't remember either. I just wish that they would keep the same few judges and remember what type of cases they preside over,
yes.
because you have one judge and they do your family court cases, they do your murder trials, they do,
Yep.
and again, I do not have extensive knowledge of the judicial system and how that all works, but I'm pretty sure that if I kill someone, I'm not going in front of the same judge that heard my child support case. So.
Yeah. I do believe that is correct.
So what the heck?
Yes. I did have an idea because I was reviewing the 2025 recap because we're going to be coming up on that soon. You need to look over it to make sure that I didn't miss anything because I feel
All
like
right.
there's sections where I go like weeks without looking at it and then go, oh shoot. We should have our fans write in to tell us what their favorite part of the year was.
Oh, I would like that. Yes.
So please write in peer54podcast@gmail.com. Let us know what your favorite part of the year is and tell us what you are hoping for 2026. And that we will write down because remember I was saying we need to figure out a way to track them. That we will write down. Did we do
Ev-
that last year? Hold on,
ev-
did we do that last
yeah,
year?
people definitely gave their predictions, but I feel like this year everyone is going to be like, just for this trial to be over. Can we have the attempted murder and be done? Because no one
Right.
cares about Drew this much.
Yeah, so guys, write in, tell us what your favorite part of 2025 was. Even tell us what your favorite what the heck moment was. What's your most memorable maybe? It doesn't even have to be your favorite. Maybe just, something that when you think of General Hospital 2025, it's going to be bleh. And tell us what you hope for 2026. And we will include that in our annual recap. And then Vernee Watson was on The Big Bang Theory. I just started watching that, and she played a nurse on The Big Bang Theory.
Oh,
Yep. Have you watched the Hulu show All's Fair?
yes.
How did you not tell me about episode 3?
Apparently I missed it.
Rick Springfield being
Oh,
a complete jerk?
yes.
Horrible,
Yes.
horrible,
Yes. Well, that's
horrible.
so funny because I text my sister about it. I can't believe I did not text you about it.
Oh, so I would just needed something. Okay, let's just put it out there. And I don't think it's meant to be a good show. This is going to sound so horrible. It is such a trashy show. I mean, it is. I needed something on in the background, completely mindless because I was doing other things. And I look up and I'm like, wow, that girl looks like Jessica Simpson. And it was.
It was.
And she played a character named Leanne who got plastic surgery to please him. And it was completely botched. It was so weird seeing the whole episode. I am sitting there going, but Jessica Simpson, I'm going to love you forever. You're by the plane. You're not doing that to Rick Springfield. And I know she's a grown up now. So am I. I'm not 17. She's not either. But it was so weird.
Yep.
Like, I stopped what I was doing just to watch that episode because I'm like, he was so, so mean.
He was awful. He was
He was
awful.
horrible. He was a horribly abusive, mean, absolutely horrible.
Um, I will just give the warning for that show. I know that it's rated adult, but I'm assuming I'm not the
It's
only
beyond adult.
person. All right, I was gonna say I'm assuming I'm not the only person that still there are some shows that are rated adult that I will watch and like not care that Madeline's walking past the living room to get a snack or whatever. Do
Yeah.
not watch that show if your
No.
children are anywhere around, because if you're only on episode 3 as it
No,
gets
no, no.
towards,
I finished.
oh,
No, I
you
finished it,
finished
but it
it?
was
Okay.
episode 3 is the one that
Okay, that he was
he's in.
on.
Yeah.
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 But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
there's
even that episode,
definitely
you're gonna have to be explaining some things.
right, right. And as you get
Yeah.
further into the season, there's definitely more than one episode, but one episode in particular that nope, no.
It's
So
like Sex in the City on steroids.
it is a good, like, trashy show, though. You're right. It has such a good cast. And as much
Yeah.
as they are so, like, beyond in their ways, I really like the fact that the basis is supposed to be women supporting women. Like, they're only taking on female clients. As someone who's been through a divorce, I kind of like that vindictiveness there of we're going to get what's ours.
And Kim
So
Kardashian can actually act. She does a really good job.
the only thing that annoys me with her in that show, and then we'll get back on GH, is her hair. Because every day she has a different hairstyle. And I'm like, I understand people with money can do this, or maybe people who are just better with doing girly things and hair things are can do this all the time. But like 1 second she has the extensions in and her hair is down to her butt. And then the very next like shot, she doesn't have any extensions in and her hair is like super short. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's a process that takes like time to put extensions in. Who is sitting there and, for their 9 a.m. meeting, they have extensions down to their butt, but in the afternoon they don't have any extensions, and then by dinner time they do. Like,
Well, I mean, did you hear the self-care that she went and had done?
yes,
Maybe she gets stuff done while she's getting that done too. Who knows? She's a
maybe.
time management person.
Maybe, but that's the thing, like I've complained about things at GH that like this has
Yeah,
nothing to do with anything, but this is the thing that annoys me. That's the thing that annoys me with that show is her hair, because I'm like, realistically, if you're walking around attorneying and dealing with your personal life and whatever, and you are not changing hairstyles that often, I'm sorry.
true, true. Yeah, it is definitely, and we're not trying to tell you how to parent your kids, but warning.
Right,
Big, if you feel uncomfortable watching GH's love scenes with your children in the room, do not
right, right.
watch this.
Exactly. And like GH is one of the shows where Madeline, I mean, I was Madeline's age when I was watching it. But even if it's talking about something that's a little more complicated or adult, I don't care that she's walking by, but that show was like, woof, okay, yeah,
Yep,
no.
yep.
Like
I
out of the
had to
house
turn
or
the
asleep.
volume down
Right, right.
because of things happening. And I was just, because JD was out in the living room, and I'm like, oh God, he is going to wonder what the heck I'm watching. Okay, let's move on from that and back to GH.
Uh,
Did you see Chris McKenna's announcement?
no.
So he's going to be on State of Mind. I believe it's actually being released tomorrow. He has bipolar disorder,
Oh, I did not know that. I will
and
absolutely listen.
he was diagnosed after a manic psychotic episode. There's an article in People magazine online also that, and the picture is of him being a guest on State of Mind. So yeah,
That should be
I just
super
saw it this
interesting.
morning. Yeah, I just saw it this morning. So
Okay. Yeah, I had not played on my phone for more than a minute before we jumped on, so.
yeah, it just says in People's exclusive first look at McKenna's appearance on Maurice Bernard's State of Mind podcast, the actor shared that COVID lockdowns did a number on my mental health.
I totally understand that one.
COVID lockdown triggered a mental health crisis for him, and he was hospitalized. It was after treatment that doctors determined he had bipolar. I finally got my diagnosis that I needed my whole life.
Mm.
And that's the thing. COVID might have brought it to the boiling point.
Right. But you've had it. It didn't
It's there.
develop
Yeah. You've
because
just
of,
figured out how to manage to this point.
right.
And then COVID, like I said, the boiling point where it was just too much and we have to learn how to manage the next level of it. So,
Well, good for him. I can't wait to listen to it.
yeah. Okay.
We avoided as long as
We're
we
gonna read
can.
emails first. We're gonna read emails first.
Okay.
Guys, avoidance is my coping skill
Me too.
today. Okay. Our girl keeps writing in more SORAS characters. Love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Perfect.
Yes. So we're just gonna ignore that. Okay, so we have from Kristina. The subject line is a very Pier 54 moment.
Aw.
I love this. I don't know why. Hi, ladies. It's Kristina, your loyal Boston listener correspondent. Kristina, the next time I go to Boston, I want to meet you. I had a very meta moment last week. I was listening to your podcast on an early Tuesday morning as I drove through the underwater tunnel from Boston to the airport. Don't worry, I didn't hold my breath this time. As I was listening to the episode, I kept thinking, what does SORAS mean? SORAS? SARAS? How do I spell that? Is it an acronym for something? You keep saying this particular term when you talk about the kids aging up. I've been watching soaps for about the same length of time as both of you, so I'm not sure how I've never heard this term. Sorry if this is a dumb question. It was so early, maybe I missed the term being explained. It never occurred to me that someone might not know what that term is, so I apologize that we have not.
Right.
SORAS is the soap term for soap opera rapid aging syndrome. And so that is when the kids go from 5 to 15. Or you know what though? There's not even a name for when they switch characters, like when they switch actors.
No.
Let's find out. That's what the acronym is. So it is SORAS, soap opera. And according to Wikipedia,
Mhm.
it's the practice of accelerating the age of a television or film character, usually a child or teenager, in conflict with the timeline of a series or real world progression of time. This allows, for instance, storylines around a pregnancy and birth to be relatively quickly followed by storylines around the travails of that child as a young teen or adult. This usually is accompanied by recasting of the actor playing the part, although in some cases the character is not shown on screen, only mentioned until after they have been rapidly aged. So this happens obviously a lot.
Yeah.
But I do believe Robin Scorpio, at least this was what I grew up hearing, was that Robin Scorpio is the only character to not be SORAS.
Right.
Let's see if there's other soap opera characters that have not been SORAS. Well, we're not counting adults.
Right.
Oh, Star Manning. Kristen Alderson played Star from childhood to young adult, aging naturally without a major recast, which is unusual for the genre.
Hmm.
They seriously don't mention Robin Scorpio, though.
Which is ridiculous.
But there is de-Sorasing also.
Oh.
Which I guess we do see that because we've said that a few times, like with Lucky, about how his birthday has changed a few times. So has
Right.
Nicholas's. So Erica Kane, her birth year was changed several times to effectively make her younger, even as actress Susan Lucci aged in real life. Justice Ward, the character's age was adjusted across different actors playing him.
Hmm. I wish I
Yeah,
could do that in real life.
I know. Robin Scorpio. We're just gonna find this out. Oh, I guess we would count Emily Quartermain.
Didn't
See,
they?
this is wrong. The internet is wrong here. It says Lucky Spencer. Yes, he was. He should not exist. I feel like that makes it SORAS.
Right.
He should not exist at the age that he is
Right.
because Luke died the next year.
Hmm.
2 years later, 83 is when Luke died.
Right.
And then Laura Spencer, yes, she was.
Yeah.
Okay, but Wikipedia does say Robin is also famous. Robin is also famous in the soap community for having been one of the few long-term soap characters to age in real time, not SORAS like most other child actors. So to be fair, though, we just never looked this up again because when we started watching, Robin was mostly a teen. I mean, I know that you started like paying attention a little bit more when Robin was a kid, but like you didn't start watching until Robin was a teen.
Right.
Kristen Alderson would have been about our age, and I didn't watch One Life to Live, so there's that. But I just remember being in high school and like right after high school, knowing that Robin was one of the only characters that had never been aged up, that they had allowed her to be 5 and then grow up to be 20.
Right.
So I just never paid attention, I guess, after that to see if anyone else. But Kristina, thank you. And to those who also did not know, so sorry.
Yeah, I never occurred
Happy
to me.
holidays. Happy
Oh,
holidays. Looking forward to your year-end recap. Kristina, write in about yours. Can we add a new a category, characters that came back from the dead or came back from being off screen? We do. We have that in the recap. I actually think that it is came back from the dead.
yeah, that's what it's listed as.
Yeah, because we have came back and then we have came back from the dead.
Right. It's two different.
Yeah, because we have back from the dead. Well, here's the categories we have, guys, in case you want to throw something in. So I try to do a monthly bullet points of big events that happened. And then we have engagements, weddings, divorces, cheating affairs, kisses, pregnancies, babies, new relationships, breakups, parent family reveals, died/funerals, because they're not always the same, back from the dead, lab results that are accurate or not accurate, health concerns, hospital stays, shootings. And I put back this year because at one point we were like, we need to separate out Jason's shootings alone. Okay, guys, right now I don't have any listed. So if I'm missing a Jason shooting, let me know. Other violence/illegal activity. We added people Sunny yelled at and intimidated, and I only have one person, so I feel like I'm missing more. Then there's blackmails, arrests, new/brought back/destroyed locations or businesses, events and celebrations, books, Ava's gallery shows, recast/short SORAS, left the show, returned to the show, new characters, job changes, times that we saw our paramedic is still 0.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. And the one thing that we added this year was character, or maybe I added it last year, but random character traits or random facts that we learned about the actors, because I think that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyway, so many this year. But yes, there was. So thank you, Kristina. And then Sherry, oh, yep, we'll get to you in a second. Miranda, Fort Charles Pipeline. Hi, ladies. Just a note on the after school special that was Elizabeth's scene last week. Every time I watch GH on Hulu, I see the commercial for some eye drops for condition Demodex blepharitis. They must be a new sponsor of the show or something like that. On Monday's episode, the commercial came on like 3 times while I was watching. So I have the paid version of Hulu that I don't get commercials.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. On another note, oh girl, I actually had this thought on Friday, and
Uh-oh.
you wrote this on Tuesday. I had this thought on Friday. On another note, and you're gonna be surprised by this. I'm loving Valentine and Carly. There
I
was something
am.
on Friday. I went, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. They're both great actors, and these scenes are fun to watch. I like Brennan before the recast. Now he's just not my speed. I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm in the minority, but I actually like Sidwell. Like, I think that I said that though. I'm like, I like him. I think he's fun, but I mean, he's obviously not a nice guy. I don't understand what he's doing yet, but I think he's a good
Right.
actor. Yes, absolutely. And I'm definitely intrigued about where the story is going. I think his whole vibe just works for that mysterious character. Maybe he's related to Faison somehow. That would be an interesting angle. I had said that a couple weeks ago. I think he's Faison's brother.
Yeah.
Anyway, here are some photos of little AJ. Okay.
You have to
Oh,
share with me.
honey. Miranda, he's beautiful. Okay, Amanda, I'll send them to you in a second. Hold on.
Well, I'm glad you're crying over something happy instead
No,
of
because
sad already.
no, but then her next line is hoping they might
Oh.
bring some light since we're all sad Tony Geary passed.
Oh.
Hey, girl. Oh my gosh, but he is beautiful. Hold on. I need to send the and absolutely, absolutely, we will not share at all. These are just between us. Oh my God. He's adorable. I just might keep these pictures up while we're recording so that I can just look at him. Now I sound like a creeper. Sorry, Miranda.
Oh my goodness, he is so cute. Oh, by the Christmas tree. Oh my God.
Like,
Oh, these are adorable.
and they just look so happy.
Oh my gosh, he is so cute.
Okay. Yep.
Hey
He is.
Miranda, we're like close to each other. If you need a babysitter, you just give me a call because he is freaking adorable.
Oh, oh yeah, and she did say, "Hope you're staying warm in this Pittsburgh cold."
Oh, he is so cute. Oh, there is no staying warm. We all know this. It was ridiculous this week.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so cute.
Okay, so we're just gonna go into all this now.
All right, you have your tissues ready. It's okay.
And then we have from Michael, hello, Shannon and Amanda. Did you ever have one of those days? Yep. This morning I woke up to the news of Rob Reiner's murder. That's what I went to bed to Sunday night. My husband was brushing his teeth and came in with his phone and like phone around the mouth.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just like, I know, but like he just, yeah. I look forward to your recap every week. And the past 2 weeks have been so good episode storyline wise that I couldn't wait for the two of you to share your takes on the weeks. Thank you.
Aw.
As usual, today was a great recap and it gets me pumped for the week ahead. Then after school, I teach 5th grade.
Aw.
Good for you. I checked my newsfeed and saw that Anthony Geary had passed. It's particularly painful for me because I was 12 or so when I started watching Luke and Laura and the left-hand boy statue storyline. I was
Mm.
seriously hooked and have remained so over the decades, coming on and out of the show like so many others, depending on what life is throwing at me. I remember seeing Anthony in UHF, and that's a Weird Al Yankovic film, or Yick, Weird Al Yankovic, or Itch. I think it's Ick. Sorry. and thinking he had a good career outside of GH. But every time he returned, I was so thankful. I didn't like the whole Bill Eckert period, but it introduced other interesting characters, so I roughed it out. Somewhere in the deep recess of my mind, I thought maybe he would return again. I am rambling, apologies. Losing Reiner and Geary is like losing a big part of your childhood. Meathead, The Princess Bride, Luke, it's so disappointing. I don't really have any contemporaries that I can share these memories and losses with.
Hmm.
I feel you get it. Losing Jackie and the actress that played Monica was really tragic. I guess because we watched them play out their pretend lives every day, year after year, the lines of real and pretend get blurred. Today was a really bad double whammy. These are some crazy talented people and they will be missed. I honor their work and them for being and thank them for being the tremendous joy that they gave me. No, and thank them for the tremendous joy they gave me. Sorry, I can't read. So much entertainment. Watch those old episodes of Mayor Luke Spencer just before Laura is discovered. It cannot get better than that. Classic. Inconceivable. Best regards, Michael. So if somehow you did not hear this week, we lost Anthony Geary. And Amanda called me crying.
That was the worst phone call. That was the worst phone call because you were just like not rambling like it was nonsense, but rambling on about the normal stuff that we go back and forth for podcast stuff about. And then as I was flipping back and forth between your text and just my normal playing on my phone, it popped up on Facebook and I was like, oh crap, there's no way that she saw this and she's still just rambling on about everything. And I can't text it, so I have to call.
No, thank you. Yeah,
So, I mean, that's our rule with each other. You've unfortunately had to call me several times also, but that one was, I feel like his email says, just different actors hit you differently. Obviously not happy to see anyone go, but I don't know. Luke was supposed to be around forever, even if we weren't seeing him on screen.
it just goes back to my whole, I'm just gonna say it, being pissed off about the fact that they kill actors, characters off before they should.
Right.
Luke
Right.
was
There's
in
no,
Amsterdam. Was it hurting anybody? And I understand maybe part of it was so that we got Tracy back, but because she wouldn't have left him. But and I love Jane Elliott, so like I'm so thankful that we have her.
but they could have had him kidnapped or something and
Yeah,
missing for just years on
forever,
end.
forever.
So,
Yep. And then
I
I had
am
just been in therapy and it
right.
was it was a good session, but like sometimes you have good sessions and you're energized, sometimes you have good sessions and you're just like a little bit tired. And I had some stuff that was going on, so I was like a little bit tired. It was literally a half hour after I'd finished, and then I was preparing for something else when you called. But yeah, Amanda was crying too, as she
Of
was telling
course.
me, and I don't think either of us breathed for a minute or two.
Right. It does make me feel better, though, that people can like know that they can email us with their feelings because there's not as many people that are watching soaps. Obviously, by the numbers, there are just as many fans as there's ever been, but in day-to-day life, it doesn't seem to come up as much as it used
Right.
to have those conversations with people. So,
So yeah, I hate that that actually kind of segues into what this upcoming 411 is. It will be the final Bobbie. Bobbie's 16. It's going to be when Luke passes away and then when Bobbie passes away. So yay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that the timing works out that way.
I mean, you did not plan that.
No, but I know it's going to be a hard one to get through. Like we were already anticipating going back over Bobbie's death was not going to be a fun time, but the fact that
Nope.
Luke's killed off in there too.
So Amanda's going to be the only one reading. I'm just going to sit here and cry. I feel like that's a fair trade-off.
We could absolutely do that. I
I'll
just
do it. I know, but you already but I know you told me you already separated it, taking my emotions into account, so I appreciate that.
we'll have to double check when Luke is though, because I don't know the way it falls that there's a way to not have you read any of it.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you had that separated before.
Yeah.
All right, we will
So,
figure it out. And
or
I mean,
if it gets too
we'll
difficult, I
just
can take
mention that we
over.
recorded it after Anthony Geary died. Like,
Right. Yeah. All right. Are there any other ones that we need to get through?
no,
Okay.
you guys had a busy week writing into us. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of other things happening too, and I apparently caught a bunch of people and had random thoughts all throughout the week. So, did you have anything that you wanted to share in the Port Charles pipeline?
No, I am happy not having information because I feel like when I have it, it's not good.
Well, you already gave me your not good information, so
Exactly. That's
it does
nothing
happen to be
else.
not good information that we're sharing with the world.
Yes.
Hey guys, so we just said that we're gonna do Bobbie, the ending of Bobbie, and we knew it, but we weren't really thinking about it, that it was actually going to be released on Christmas Day. And we don't want to ruin that holiday for anyone, whatever you celebrate, especially where we just lost Anthony Geary. I feel like that'd be a little bit extra sad. And so during reality check, we kind of hashed out that we're going to postpone Bobbie's last episode because then also it's actually going to coincide with when they had her pass on the show when they said that she passed would be New Year's Day because I think that they actually said it on January 2nd. So the first Thursday of the new year. Sorry, we're going to kick off the new year like that, but
Right.
that's what ABC did to us. So don't blame
Yeah.
us. But yeah, so we're thinking we're going to re-release our first Christmas show, but we're going to take a look at a few other ones. So Thursday's episode is going to be a surprise now, but we just want to make sure that you do tune in if you need a little bit of lightheartedness on your travels. Don't be scared to listen to the show.
Oh, that's perfect. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. We're not going to ruin yours.
Yes, exactly. But now on to the recap. All right, so Hulu headlines. On Monday, Valentine offers reassurance. Brennan and Jocelyn put their heads together. Dante opens up to Nathan. Sunny and Rick meet with Justine. Emma seeks advice. On Tuesday, Michael has a testy encounter with Drew and Willow. Nina calls in a favor. Rocco issues an ultimatum to Dante. Charlotte makes a confession. An eavesdropper hits pay dirt. We still don't know who that is.
That's
Right?
that's gonna have no, that's gonna it was Martin.
At the mansion?
Yeah, Martin called Drew to say give back Tracy's stuff, and Drew said, I need you to do me a favor, like lurk around the house. So it was Martin. I guess we didn't technically see that it was Martin, but it was Martin.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, I know that I kind of spaced out on a lot of stuff this week, but
Yeah,
I mean,
they
I'm not
didn't
gonna lie,
show
I had a really hard time watching this week.
they
Like it
sh
was
they sh
just
showed the door cracked. You did
yeah.
not see who was looking through the
Okay,
door,
so it was not
but
actually revealed, but your
it was
prediction is. Okay.
yeah, like it just the way the storyline was going, it only makes sense that it was Martin because he was already on the property. He didn't leave. He just started
How
stalking
long have
around
you
the
been a fan of
house.
the show?
No, if they make it somebody else, I'm gonna be so annoyed. Like, come on.
Right. On Wednesday, Carly and Nina have a frosty run-in. Isaiah makes Portia a tempting offer. Lulu unleashes her anger. Britt is disappointed, and Michael defends himself. On Thursday, Brennan confides in Carly. Nathan backs up Lulu. Jason seeks out Jocelyn, and Nina is in the hot seat. And then on Friday, Chase makes a pair of arrests. Valentine and Carly debate. Jason issues a warning. Joss makes a resolution, and Isaiah supports Portia. I have just talked, so what do you want to talk about?
I just want to remind everyone that we are not doing Lulu with Nathan.
No, especially not after they just had the conversation of him saying, or Lulu saying to Brennan, my best friend, and this is her husband,
Right.
and him saying, yeah, my wife, where they are
Yep.
both vocally saying it as though it is still an active
Yep.
truth.
But at the same time, she's like, oh, Nathan, you're so good at listening. Oh, Nathan, you're such a strong protector.
Gotta
No,
give the background of the whole thing.
like, ugh, no, I'm overly annoyed with all of it. So we see, as continued from last week, Charlotte needs to have protection. Not really protection. They're just hoping that her father goes to her so that they can go ahead and arrest Valentine. And so Nathan and Dante are swapping back and forth of who's watching the house, who's there just checking. In the middle of all this, we have Rocco's trial that he has to go to. And Nathan is just continuously, being there for the family as he should, as the fact that Lulu is Maxie's best friend. And although he hasn't brought it up, he did think he was Charlotte's dad for a minute.
Always
Absolutely
thought they were going to say it because he brought her home from school.
right.
And I thought that at some point there, it was going to be like, yeah, it was nice having one-on-one time with her again or
Yes.
something.
Something, yes, or a reminder of how life could have gone because I thought I was her dad. Like this would have been my normal day-to-day stuff.
To be fair, though, maybe in defense of Charlotte, she was a little kid. So maybe it is not good that they talk about it necessarily with her
True. I mean, I
because
guess
she
we
might
don't
not really remember the fact that her mom, she never brings up
Claudette.
Colette.
Yeah.
Claudette, yep.
Yeah.
Claudette? Colette.
Claudette.
Claudette,
Claudette.
yep.
Yeah.
So, maybe she just doesn't remember all of that. So I think that that's fair, but
True, but she was
Nathan
upstairs.
does.
Yeah, so
Right.
we see Nathan after Lulu has gone and taken notes at Willow's trial and comes in the door with Nathan, and Charlotte immediately runs upstairs, and Lulu is thanking him for picking Charlotte up, and she says, like, I know she has a car and her license and whatever, but I just don't feel comfortable. And Nathan, again, is that friend. Like, I could call JD at the last minute and be like, oh my God, can you please help me, and go grab Madeline or
Yep.
whatever. Okay, cool, thanks. So she's like, thanks for getting her, whatever, even though I know logistically it looks like she should have been able to do this herself. And he's like, no, not a problem. Of course, you don't want her out driving around by herself with Valentine on the loose. No big deal. And then Brennan shows up and basically tries to order him out of the house. And Lulu's like, yeah, this is my house and you can't tell me what to do. And you have no warrant. So too bad. And goes on about how wonderful Nathan is for helping out and for being there for her and all of those things. And he threatens to take Lulu into custody. And she's like, that's fine. Let me just call my mom, the mayor, and let's be.
Well, no, she told Nathan, the cop, detective, to call her mother, the mayor, and her husband, the current sitting commissioner.
Yes. And Brennan's like, well, you just need to listen to me. And she's like, no, I don't. And quit intimidating me. And Nathan's here on my side because he understands that you're trying to pull rank that you don't have. Like, we're not using a teenage girl and questioning my parenting to try to pull Valentine out. But yeah, in between all of those nice statements about my friend's husband, she's still given this undertone of there's something there between the two of them. And no, 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 no. The only
No,
conflict we need with Nathan romantically is for Maxie to come back and be like, oh crap, I love Spinelli, but I thought you were dead. I don't know how to process these feelings. That's all. That's all.
right. It was so
So,
funny because I was talking with a friend of mine last night about there's a book that I read over the summer, One True Loves, and it's about a woman who thinks her husband died and she moved on and then he came back. And like she was talking about, I said, see, here's the thing. This happens so much on General Hospital that it didn't even faze me that this was a story.
right.
I'm
You're
like,
like,
so
get more
hearing her
creative with
talking
your
about
book.
it, right? Well, because she had read it too, and like she was sharing her experience, and I'm like, huh, yeah, I guess I'm just so used to this that that didn't register with me,
Right. Oh, that's
certain
funny.
things. Yeah. I just I
But
know now we're not supposed to like Brennan, but I don't get how does he think that these people aren't all talking? I know that he quote knows that Joss is not talking to anyone. Oh, I guess because Nina or Lulu and Britt are obviously not talking. And Lulu thinks that Carly has a good relationship. So why isn't Lulu complaining to Carly though about her boyfriend?
right.
Like, I'm sorry, if Ryan came over and was interrogating me without you there, I'm like, Amanda, what the heck is going
Right.
on? But like that's a big thing that you'd be like, can you get your boyfriend to leave me alone? Thanks. Because they haven't really talked about it. Because even last week when Carly came over and dropped the key, I feel like Lulu has told her that Brennan's giving her a hard time, but maybe Carly's not really doing, although Carly's trying to manipulate
It,
Brennan. So
right.
she's not going to pretend to have Lulu's back. Okay. But Lulu should still be doing more.
And I feel like there's a difference between not having someone's back and not having a normal conversation. I mean, it's hard to imagine using our personal lives just because Ryan has nothing to question you on. But like, we'll use my ex in this scenario because he is a cop. If you drove through his town and got a ticket and then called me and was like, oh my God, I can't believe that your ex gave me a ticket, I would 100% side with him and be like, well, Chan, don't be speeding. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
Right.
But when I talk to
Right.
him,
Exactly.
I would be like, man, could you be a little nicer at least whenever you're giving her a ticket? Like, you don't have to be so rude. Once you saw the name, you knew that she was, one of my people or whatever. There's,
Right.
you can do your job without being a jerk about it. The fact
Right.
that Carly and Lulu aren't having any of those conversations, that Carly's not like going back to Brennan and being like, hey, listen, I know you're just trying to do a job, but can you remember that that's my cousin? And like not be so
Right. Like
harsh
I
with
have to
her,
have
or
Christmas dinner with her and she might be around you.
right,
So
like if you play it too nice, that also tips your hand. Like now you're being
yeah,
insincere, you know. If he really knows you the way he claims he knows you because he's so in love with you, then he should be like, wait a second, she's being too non-confrontational when that's not Carly. Like we know
yeah,
her. It doesn't matter if she's involved with you romantically or not. If you do something that annoys her, she's going to bring it up to you.
right.
So, yeah, I think it's odd that she's not saying anything to him. But that's whenever, then after that is whenever we got to see the Nina stuff that we are happy to see because we were like, where is this relationship coming from? Because Brennan saw Nina and was like, well, if you can get information on Valentine, then I'll be happy to help with this trial, which really makes me angry because that has to come full circle too, where Carly is going to be like, okay, Brennan, thanks for helping Nina out, except for you just made my son look more guilty. So
Right.
why didn't you leave things how they were? That traffic footage was very important. And I do think it was 100% Brennan. Like, I know at the end, Dante was questioning Chase. But I don't think, as much as we see that Chase has gone off the deep end in cases for Willow, I don't think that he would be deleting information.
But I do think that that was really important for Chase to get that smack in the face that
Yes.
his best friend and partner
Right.
would think that.
Yeah, I agree. But no, I 100% think it was Brennan. And I'm sorry, but I don't know. I don't know exactly how I would be blackmailing people, but I feel like if I'm blackmailing you, I need to see the proof that you did what you were going to do before I give you that type of upper hand. Because
Right.
he already made the footage disappear and she was just going to dinner with Charlotte after that, and then she even gets to, which I do appreciate Nina, like as a person, as a mom figure, saying to Charlotte when Charlotte starts saying, oh, I already got a message from my dad, her being like, all right, zip your lip, do not
Yep.
tell me any more information, you cannot trust anyone, even me, whenever it comes to this, so don't tell me anything that I may be asked to repeat later. And I was like, well, thank you for like being an upstanding adult instead of using this child to get information.
Yeah. That is, I don't have anyone under blackmail, and we definitely have
Yeah.
someone.
You could just write Brad.
Brad. Well, was that, yeah, that was this year, right? He left this year, right?
He did leave this year, but that was why, was because he had given the information to Drew, and
Right.
so Drew just paid him off.
So Brad, Drew, Brennan. Well, Brennan, we're pretty sure.
Right.
Suspect.
Suspecting. Yeah.
Subtle blackmail
Um,
of Carly. Okay. That's going to come out too, though, just because
yeah,
that's a giveaway for the wrap up. But that just occurred to me. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't really have anything just listed on.
blackmail, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to have to go through that. Definitely this year.
I will.
Do we just want to stick with Brennan and the whole week of
Yeah, he was just
everything?
disappointing. And I did like Valentine and Carly together because Valentine brought up stuff that I hadn't even thought of when he was like, yeah, you don't think, Carly, that he's still holding on to information about you? And Carly's like,
Yes.
no, why would he hold on to that? That was like years ago before him and I were even anything. And Valentine's like, yeah, that's the way he works.
That's exactly. Oh, but I didn't. I appreciate Valentine saying that. And he's like, yeah, but if this had happened after you guys were together, then I would probably think he would have deleted it. But now is Valentine trying to manipulate her? Because he even said to Brennan, this lady's really got into you. But, or did he just realize, oh, because now that he's talked more to Carly, never mind. Because now that he's talked more to Carly, I think that he realizes that Brennan's playing her. Because he said to Brennan, you've never gotten sloppy over a woman before. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah, right.
Like I think that was over the summer. And
Hmm.
then, but now he is seeing, oh shoot, he did all this stuff for her. But, and it wasn't until she mentioned he made that go away that I think it clicked with Valentine on, oh shoot, you've been married to two powerful men and are a mother of one.
Right,
So, which I appreciate that Valentine's given Michael all that credit because Michael's not, he's powerful, but not in the same way that Sonny is.
right.
Okay, but so who is he saying is the second one? Is he saying Jason or Jax was the other powerful man? Because Jason's technically an ex-husband. And that's one that Brennan wants to manipulate is Jason.
See, I thought that the way that he said it was you've been married to two powerful men, like you still have a connection with them now, like on a day-to-day basis, and you have a child by the other one. And so it was supposed to be Jocelyn is a connection to Jax, but maybe I misheard it.
Oh, see, I kept it with men,
Okay, I see. Yeah,
not person. You took it as Joss. I took it as Michael is another, because he said you've been married to two powerful men and mother to another. Or that's
I
how I heard it. Or you're here. Okay.
Yeah, I heard it as you've been married to two powerful men and have a child with a third. So I didn't think he was referring to Joss as the powerful person like you took it to mean Michael. I thought he was saying, like, even though you're not talking to Jax right now, you have a child with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay. We're gonna go to the tape real quick.
roll it.
Just because now I'm curious because I'm like,
Who misheard or who mistook
no,
it?
because I feel like it's the interesting thing about language is
Well, and also the fact that we both admitted that as we're watching, we're folding laundry sometimes. We have people in and out, whatever. So it could have just been one word off that you took it one way and I took it another.
great. It makes me hate him even more. Hold on. We might be after. Oh, here's Charlotte talking to Nina. I mean, I had you and Rocco, but now, and this is where she stops and says, "You can't even trust me." Oh, I did like when Valentine called her out. He's like, "I can't trust you. You hesitated, and that's doubt."
Right.
See, but here's the thing. I watch Valentine.
Of course you do.
Every good deed that he's done for me was designed to make me feel safe so he could take advantage of me and my daughter. Makes me hate him even more. This is when I thought, because when she said, "I've never been more committed," and I was just like, ooh, there could be something there because he smirks at her. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I'm betraying Anna. Was that earlier in the week? I thought that was at the end of, or at the end of I thought that was at the end of the episode.
It was after Brennan
All right,
had
we can
given
keep
her the
talking about
necklace.
other stuff while I try to find this. Yes, talk about that.
It was after that. So, Brennan was just
Is that
kind
a
of trying
tracker or a
to,
microphone or both?
I figured tracker. I
Okay.
think
Could also
I
be a
don't
microphone.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, again, don't know what a microphone would look like, but in my mind, it she would notice it on the necklace, but a tracker
I don't know.
would
You know
not.
how they make stuff? Like the
Right.
teeny, teeny, tiny?
Um,
She needs to go get Joss's swoopy thing.
that's what I was just gonna say. Why doesn't Valentine have one of those? Come on. Yeah, Brennan
Well,
shows
maybe
up.
that was just extra weight from jumping out of the plane.
I feel like that would be pretty important, no matter where you're staying, to know if it's bugged or not. But Brennan shows up and questions her on, you haven't been at work for the past few days, like what's going on? And she's like, oh, I just had stuff around the house. And then I don't even know what his reason for the present was. He just missed her, or he just saw it and thought of her or whatever.
Because they've been
And
busy. Because she even said, I thought that you were so busy looking for Valentine that we weren't going to even have time together and stuff like that.
so he was like, oh, here, I bought you a present, so you're not mad at me. She was like, okay, thanks. And then she put it on, and like the second that he left, then she took it off, which I was like, oh, that was smart. So I'm hoping for sure that it's a tracker because then she can just put it up and be like, oh, sorry, I was playing with Donna and she broke it, so I'll have to take it to the jewelers.
It looks just like a foot smashed on it. Well, 7-year-olds.
Right, we were
That's
roughhousing.
about where we
Sorry.
are, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Valentine also questioned, does she, because she mentioned about how he got Michael into that treatment.
Yes.
So like why would he? Yeah, he has totally been playing her this whole time and none of us even picked up on it.
Yep. I really thought that he was just like smitten. I liked the idea of her being the one to turn him. Shows
Yeah.
what a romantic we are.
But we always think we can change them.
Yep. Even though we remind ourselves all the time not to do that.
Yep. All right, I'm not going to find it, but I do think it's interesting that we both heard, and it's probably just one word off, and we both heard it differently. Okay. Oh, but Valentine likes French press and Fruit Loops. French
Yes.
press coffee and Fruit Loops. And I love that he took the box with him. I'm sorry. I thought that like little things like that I like.
I hope if they need to like have him be discovered, that it's something little like that that helps him get discovered in the house though. Like Donna to be like, "Mommy, how are we out of Fruit Loops? Like we just bought those and I've only had one bowl," kind of stuff.
Ooh, this is a little bit of a plot hole though, because remember, Charlotte was never allowed to have sugary cereal. Remember, we saw her have sugary cereal for the first time. So
Yeah.
now he's eating Fruit Loops. Is that why? Is that why, like, my 12-year-old son had never had a Butterfinger before because I always took them out of his Halloween bag and didn't realize it until he came home one day and was like, Butterfingers are so good. And I was like, yeah,
Why do you think I've been stealing them for years?
but I didn't realize that they didn't give as many as they used to.
Um, Maybe he also didn't eat that kind of food until he got in prison, because I
Oh,
doubt that
true,
there's as many breakfast options.
true.
And I just don't see Carly being like, let me make you a traditional breakfast every morning as you insist that you're staying here.
Yeah,
And another thing she'd have to explain to her daughter, Mommy, why are you making a whole extra serving of eggs when it's just the two of us?
yeah, true.
So, I don't know. I'm interested to see where her and Valentine end up, though. I was not totally against their chemistry. I won't like it wasn't even flirting. It was just
I found it. Carly, you are the ex-wife to two very powerful men, and you're the closest confidant of Jason Morgan. So it's Jax,
okay.
who has been on the WSB radar for a very long time, but any one of them could be. Didn't he? I thought that he mentioned,
We did too. We both didn't. We both heard something that didn't even
but
exist.
now we're on to a new thing.
I
Okay.
I would have
So we,
swore that he said that you had a child of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're
Did
both
anybody else
crazy.
hear that?
We're
Tell
both
us we're not
crazy.
crazy.
According to your closed
Oh.
captioning, we are.
But then Brennan also called Britt while she's at work and is like, get over here. This is not a request. And when she gets there, he approaches her about running the lab and says that if she doesn't give him everything that she's been working on with Sidwell, that he's basically going to tell everyone that she's been working for him. And she's like, oh, because and she's like, well, if you want that, then you're going to help me get my medical license back. And he says that he has no pull with the AMA
Right.
and that they don't have, the WSB can't get those kind of connections. What?
Right.
Again, you're going back to who her father is, and you think she doesn't know that?
Yeah.
And she tells him that that's the only way that she's going to cooperate is if he gets her medical license back. And then I loved see, there's so many different ways we can go because like it was really a spider web week because Carly and Joss got into a fight over Joss's motive behind making cookies
Mm-hmm.
because she just basically wanted to spend time. But I guess Carly's like, no, you do not have to be looking over me. I'm fine. Valentine's not going to come see me.
Right.
But then Jason went and saw Joss and used his phone to type, have you swept for bugs? And then we see her sweeping, I guess. And she even said, like, I do this every day, but just to prove to him. And then they had a really good conversation. And he's like, I need your help trying to find out who is doing this work. Like Britt was at the Five Poppies. You know, she's relying on this medication. But what else did he say? He said something about um he Jason's just trying to get her from being reliant on bad guys for her medication.
Right.
And then Joss is like, yeah, so sorry to burst your bubble, but Britt's a bad guy. Like Britt's in on this.
Yep.
So something hit me this week when, who was it? I think it's when Britt and Brad were talking about the Five Poppies. Oh, I know what it was. She said something to him about how she just woke up at the Five Poppies.
Yes.
Opium is from poppies. Opium makes you sleepy. That's why in The Wizard of Oz, you get very sleepy. So is there opium in her medication? And
Oh.
I was like, is there a significance about five poppies? And there is.
Okay.
It is in remembrance for different branches of service, a tradition popularized by late Queen Elizabeth II, though Buckingham Palace has never confirmed the exact reason, with popular theories suggesting each poppy honors the Army, Navy, Air Force, Civil Defense, and women's services during wartime.
Okay.
But like the poppies in and of themselves would be for sedation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if that's how there's something in the name Five Poppies. Like there is something there that I don't know why we never considered the fact that the name the Five Poppies is going to mean something.
Yeah.
But so I think that that's how she fell asleep and then woke up. But then maybe there's something with opium in her medication. But she doesn't seem tired, but so it's not like straight opium that she's taking. But
Is the book that Faison
Ooh,
wrote an actual book?
it's an actual book on screen. Hold on. I don't think that it's actually one we could buy.
Okay. I'm wondering if like all the secrets that we're trying to put together are in the book. Do you know what I mean? Like in the story
Yep.
of whatever he wrote.
According to fandom, it's just a fictional book written by Cesar Faison under the pen name P.K. Sinclair. The storyline on General Hospital involved Faison writing a book called The Crystalline Conspiracy. Davney, an anagram for Anna Devane, was the name of the heroine in Sinclair's book, and another book called The Alpine Express. The events in both books were based on the activities of Anna and Cesar's spy days.
Okay.
Do we need to remind the show that Friday is the day for cliffhangers,
Right.
not Thursday? That then makes us super excited for Friday. And we just talked about that with a friend of ours on Thursday who had watched it before we did.
Yep.
And she's like, but I'm not going to say anything. And then Friday, I'm just like, well, that was dumb. Not that it was all dumb, but
Right, right. No, I'm just wondering because I know we were talking about Brit and trying to figure out her stuff, but we saw Pascal go visit Anna and ask her about her code that she was writing to try to figure out whatever. And then under her lunch tray was wrapped up the book. And so I'm wondering if like whatever code she was writing somehow would break whatever code is in the book that would then explain what the five poppies means in relation to everything else.
yeah, no, it's not a real book that's been published.
Darn, I wanted to read
I
it and figure
know.
it out before Anna did. Here's all the answers. Okay, then I don't know. I don't know. I was shocked. So we got to see Brad and Britt like reconnect this week.
Well, real quick, should we say what we're doing after Bobbie?
Sure,
And I guess after our recap for the year?
sure.
Guys, we're going to go ahead and do Phase On because,
Because
first of all, JD's off work for a week. And so we're making him do it. And we have to. There's been
yeah.
too much, and they've honestly really not been doing a very good job of explaining. Maybe they are relying on us now to be like, you know what? We can just, if we could get them to be an actual sponsor and they could have a QR code, you know how like after shows now they
Oh
say,
yeah.
listen to the accompanying podcast, they could put on the show like a little QR code to learn more about Cesar Faison. Listen to Pier 54, a General Hospital fan podcast. Scan the QR
Yes,
code here,
that would be beautiful.
but allow us to still have our creative differences perhaps on our Monday recaps because
Mm-hmm.
that is very important to us.
Yes.
Dear writers that are listening, and as I am using my hoodie,
I like your hoodie pen.
yes, my microphone, it's my hoodie microphone. I'm using the strap, my string to my hoodie as a microphone. That would be a cool thing.
That would be very cool.
We would have to discuss some kind of a, agreement, but you already know that we're willing to put in 711 episodes into this thing, so we are dedicated.
Right.
53 of them were lucky, or 52. It was 52 was lucky because we actually did just do a full year.
Yep.
Anyway, yes, Britt and Brad.
Yes, we get to see Britt and Brad reconnect, and then they decide to go out to dinner. And he makes a comment about losing some of his money, but you just assume that, if most people, I think, if they got a windfall, would splurge a little in the beginning with some of the money or whatever. And then they go out to dinner and they're ordering the most ridiculous things off the menu. The bill comes, they said it was over $2,000 for two
Listen, I
people.
Googled how you and I could have a night out for $2,000 in Pittsburgh, and it's like
Insane, I'm sure.
insane.
Insane.
$2,000?
I'm sorry. I know that I do not have like a very refined palate. I do not eat at these crazy places, but there is not a meal in the world that I could think was worth $2,000. That's insane.
Well, I mean, they are using the gold flakes in the desserts,
Well, that
which
$2,000 was before that
serendipity,
though.
well, right, but this like serendipity has that $1,000 ice cream sundae because it has the gold flakes.
Yeah. Insane. Then the bill comes and she's like, "All right, Brad, here you go." And he's like, "No, no, that's on you." And she's like, "What are you talking about? You got all this money." And he's like, "No, I told you I hooked up with this model boyfriend and he's blew all my money. I have a few credit cards with like $10 on them." And then she's like, "Well, I'm not a doctor, so no, I don't have that kind of money." I understand that she doesn't want to take money from Jason, but I find it hard to
No,
believe
thank you.
that Jason has not said to her, okay, listen, you don't have to ever use it, but here's a card for an emergency situation that you have just in case. If you don't ever use it, that's beautiful, but here it is until you get back on your feet. I don't believe that at all. But anyway, she doesn't have any way to pay for it. And so they order dessert so that the waiter will go away, and then they dine and dash, and Brad leaves one of his credit cards on the table.
I was seriously sitting there screaming. Well, first I was like, just call Jason. Well, because even when Brad said something and I was like, oh, she's going to call Jason. Like, thank goodness she's going to call Jason, call Jason, call Jason. Doesn't happen. Like, Jason would have done that in a heartbeat and realized that she didn't want to make a fool of herself to her friend. Like, they're just getting along. However, wasn't it her idea to go there? Because didn't he say, oh, we're like moving up or something? And she was like, yeah, I thought that we deserved like a special night out or something like that.
Yes, yes.
Then it's on her to pay.
Yep, she was the
If
one
it
that
was her
invited.
idea, it's on her. Unless it's when you and I go out to dinner, I feel like it's already pre-assumed we're splitting, like we're each paying our
Right.
part.
Unless you start ordering bottles of champagne and whatever. But
Right.
then I would stop you and be like, I'm so sorry, waiter. This is very rude to say in front of you. But Shan, you paying for this? Because I do not have that.
Listen, I say to my kids when they're like, well, I want this. And I'm like, cool, you paying?
Right, right, exactly. You want an appetizer and dessert? You better brought your wallet because I'll only cover one of those.
Yeah. So yeah. So I'm sorry. It was on Brit. If we are both remembering correctly, and now I am questioning our recall, but I thought that she was the one who said, yeah, I thought that we could you like we deserve
Well,
this.
she
And
said we deserve, she said, I think she said we deserve a dinner. I think that he picked the place because didn't she say to him, like, good call on picking here instead of the Metro Court? And he was like, yeah. And then they talked about how the wait staff was hotter there and all of that stuff. But when then,
okay. Well, it comes down to whoever's idea it was to go there, if not predetermined.
I mean, I
Okay,
feel like
also
that
though,
is a gray line though, because she was going to
no
order,
offense, what kind of friend automatically assumes the other friend is paying? Like
right?
when you and I go out to dinner, neither of us assume just because you asked me to go out to dinner that you're paying. Like I don't feel like that's an assumption.
No,
That's a
the
when friends
assumption
go
is
out to dinner, unless it's a birthday.
right. My assumption is always that we're paying for ourselves and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
Unless I
offering to
say,
pay for
Amanda, I want
you.
to take you out for your birthday.
Right, right. But yeah, on a random Tuesday, just because we deserve it, I'm not dropping $2,000 on dinner, and I sure as heck am not expecting you to cover the entire bill. So,
No.
but anyway,
And they can
bottom
wash
line is
dishes.
you should never, ever, ever, ever dash and dine. But if you are going to be that stupid, at least be smart enough not to leave something with your name on the table.
Also, you have to assume now everywhere has cameras.
Right. And
So,
it's not like you're visiting, I mean, they're in New York, so it's not like you're visiting Pittsburgh where no one has any idea who you are and you dash and dine and then, okay, fine. You're in your hometown. Like, it would be the same as
I
us
like this
ordering
place, Brad.
20
Good
pizzas.
choice.
Okay.
I like this place, Brad. Good choice. Yep, it's on Brad.
I was gonna say, I was pretty sure he picked the location. Um,
Then, yep.
Yeah, I just didn't like the fact that it was so predictable because as soon as they got up from the table, I'm like, Brad, your credit card's right there, Brad. And then
Right.
they get back to
Well, but to
her.
be fair, he had no idea what was going on.
True, true. He was a little
She was
slower
just
than
like,
her.
yeah, she was just like, one, two, three. And he's like, what are we doing?
Like, we're just counting.
Right. Just making sure.
Um, but yeah, then they get back to her room and he's like, "Well, how are you affording this then?" And she's like, "Oh, I have friends." And I'm like, "Exactly. You have a friend that would rather lend you $2,000 than see you in jail. Because who do you think is going to bail you out of jail? And you're trying to get your medical license back. Do you really think it looks great that you're dining and dashing?"
That's the first thing. So it would have been one thing if the whole idea had been Brad's idea to dine and dash, because then she would have been like, what the heck? I'm trying to get my medical license back. I'm trying to get my life back together. What did you just do? And instead, it was her idea. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like Brit's that dumb, even
No.
after all that alcohol. Like, I really don't, because I really think at the core of it, like you said, she wants to get her license back. So she's not going to do anything to mess that up.
Right. But as they're talking, well, I was surprised. I was going to say, I was surprised at their dinner. She was so open with him because she was like, yeah, I was dead and then I
Yes.
woke up and then I had to work for them and I got my medicine. And I was like, are you maybe putting Brad at risk that he has all this information all of a sudden? And poor Brad is like, wait, isn't that Lucas's new boyfriend's dad that Lucas is living there? Like, this sounds dangerous.
Yep.
And then they leave, they go back to the room, and he says, how are you affording this? And she says, oh, I have, at least one person that still likes me or whatever. Oh, and she tells him, well, she says, I have at least one person. And then she says that her and Rocco are talking. And I'm like, yeah, but Rocco's not
Yes.
paying for your room. So, like, you're kind of
No.
miscommunicating that. But then there's a knock at the door, and she opens it, and there's Chase, and he's like, hey, it was Chase, right? Not Nathan?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Um,
Oh, that
Chase,
would have been so. Why
that
didn't we see that?
yeah, I would have liked Nathan better, but I was making
Oh,
sure that I saw what I saw because now I'm questioning
I
myself.
know. Now we're questioning everything, guys. I don't know if we can do this anymore. We don't even know what we're talking about.
I do feel like Monday happened, and then I was like, I can't, my brain can't focus on GH.
I
Um,
tried to watch Monday and I turned it on for a second. I went, no,
yeah, I did the same thing. I didn't actually start watching anything until Wednesday because I was like, okay, my
same.
brain, I think, can start taking this now.
Yep.
But anyway, and he's like, you know why I'm here. And then Brad says something and he's like, oh, great, saves me a trip. So you're both under arrest, whatever. And I thought, this is so dumb. Like, I've loved the Britt and Brad shenanigans and them talking about, watching another award ceremony and gossiping and all of that stuff. But getting arrested together, like, again, I love you, but I don't want to go to jail with you. I'm sorry.
I mean, I feel like we'd have a good time,
I mean,
but
if I have to go to jail, you would be, in my top few picks, but I would also really
I
like
would
to
prefer to just not.
avoid that. Right. Can we have a $100 dinner somewhere instead
Yes,
and pay for it and not go to jail? Please. I'd
exactly.
enjoy that more.
Exactly. Oh, but speaking of Rocco, Britt responded to Rocco's text that he sent her of that his talking with Turner. Oh, so before that, they went to talk to Turner in Robert's office that we have
Right?
not even had him pass
Yep.
and her become the official DA, and we've already given away his office.
Well, to be
The
fair,
level of mad I was on that one,
he's been gone for
but
a
then it
few
should have been
months
talked
now
about. Should have been talked about. It should have been her saying something about, so I'm trying to make this office like mine,
until Robert
like
gets back.
she switched out the chair. Like his chair was
Yeah.
so uncomfortable, such an old man's chair, that she needed
Yeah.
to have her cute white one, like something like that. Get us slowly in there. The same way that, Laura dropped whenever Monica died. Oh, my mom's sick. She couldn't come. Guess
Right.
what? That's kind of setting us up for
Right.
Leslie dying. Like we could have done the same thing with Turner's taking over. I just feel like that was just like okay, guys, I guess you ripped off the Band-Aid for us, so thanks. But I ignored half the beginning of that just because I was sitting there going, seriously. But anyway, they went to Rocco's. I thought he was going to trial, but I guess he just went to go talk to Turner in her office, Robert's office.
Well, and I think if the case isn't, I think your attorneys, again, I'm just referencing off of what I've experienced with child support or divorce court, but like when I got divorced, I didn't go in front of a judge myself. My attorneys
Yeah.
went, and my attorney and his attorney. So it felt like to me that this was Turner and who was Martin was their attorney. Rick was his
Yes.
attorney. Rick was his attorney.
Rick.
Rick. See, I'm telling you, I was off this week. So her and Rick went and talked to the
Why wouldn't
judge.
it be Martin though? Like, why wouldn't Lulu have asked Martin? I know that
Well, right,
Sonny got
Sonny was
Rick because
giving
he was
Rick,
there like when it all happened and everything, but
right.
you would think that Lulu would have at least said, well, can we also talk to my Uncle Martin and see like which one has the better plan?
I feel like Lulu lets the men lead. So if that's what Dante was fine with and that's what Sonny was fine with, then okay. But anyway, they went and talked to the
True.
judge, and the judge said, I'm okay with either one of these outcomes. I don't care. And so then Turner went back and was like, Turner and Rick went back and were like, well, these are the two choices. And then they were like, well, who gets to decide? And Rick was like, it's up to Turner. So he did go to court. He just didn't go in front of the judge. He sent his
Right.
representation. And then he had a heartfelt conversation about how he was just trying to do what was right with the animals. He wasn't trying to hurt anyone and he didn't mess with Dalton stuff, whatever. And then she got to play it off like she was doing a favor for Sunny, as she had talked about with Molly last week, and was like, okay, I'm fine with the community service.
Right.
So Rocco then texted Britt to be like, hey, at least I'm not going to jail for a month.
And Rocco would not let Dante take him to court. And
Yes.
he said, unless, and then it was when he got back and filled him in on what happened,
Right.
that until he accepts Gio and accepts that it was Rocco's idea and not Gio's idea, that he wasn't even going to hug him.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, I thought it was sweet, like following along that we saw Emma talking to Felicia and she was like, you helped Mac and
Yes.
Chloe. Can you tell me, like, I want to be a supportive girlfriend, but I don't want to just blindly take his side. So what do I do? And she was like, it was really James that got them together. And so Emma went to Gio and was kind of like, hey, you need to do this for Rocco. Like, put the kid first because you are an adult. And so then he went and saw Dante and was like, hey, it's hard for me. And Dante was still a jerk because he was like, oh, supervised visits or whatever. I feel like
I know.
I feel like he could have said that without saying that. Like he could have said, "Oh yeah, that would be great. Actually on Saturday we're decorating the tree. Why don't you come over and be a part of it?" And
Well,
that would have been like, "I'm
exactly. You
welcoming
have the
you."
holidays. You have so many things. Right. You have so many things that you could automatically, not sketchily hover.
Right, right. And Rocco is still a kid. So if Rocco asks on a random Tuesday to go out with Gio, then you just make up something. Oh, sorry, we already have dinner plans, or, you have to clean your room before Santa comes, or whatever. And
Right.
boom, you're not a jerk, but you're still dictating how the circumstances go. Instead, he has to be like so drawn a hard line with it, like, oh, I don't know that I can trust you.
Right.
But luckily, um, Gio was the bigger person in this and was like, okay, dude, I'll follow your rules, but sure, I'll start with your holiday, whatever." So
Right.
I don't know. Dante needs to soften up again for the 400th time. Olivia needs to call him out on, hello, you're the one that had a baby younger than Gio did, even if you didn't know about it. So how about we not be so hard on Gio for making mistakes?
Right.
And you should know Rocco well enough by now to know that he wants to help, not that he needs to be persuaded by his older brother.
Right.
So the alcohol thing I could understand more than this whole animal thing. Like he was just trying to save some animals.
Right.
But whatever. Dante is Dante.
Ooh, and he caught himself saying my office. Oh, I mean Anna's office.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Ooh, and Turner, before all that, though, Turner had talked to Sunny again about Dalton.
Yes. I just wish that people would think, like when they're talking about the shooting of Drew, like Michael saying, if I was the one that shot Drew, he would be dead, is like the most honest statement ever. And so Sonny being like, okay, obviously I don't want my grandson in trouble, but I'm not going to kill somebody over my grandson getting community service or a month in a detention center. That makes sense. Like he's not going to tip you off to his alleged life of crime now becoming not alleged over some dumb professor that accused his grandson of messing up computer equipment. Like, come on. It's not
Right.
worth the kill there.
Oh, and then we just saw Geo, or not Geo, back to the whole Geo thing though with Dante, that he was talking with Nathan about how Rocco was holding a lot of the stuff that when he left him and Lulu.
Yeah.
Oh, hold it. Let's see if okay, so we did that. Did we talked about Rocco texting Britt, but we didn't talk
Mhm.
about the fact that Lulu found his tablet and then blocked her number.
Yeah. I don't think that that was right either in my
And then
in my parenting opinion. I'm not against reading text messages, especially since Rocco left his device right there on the couch.
if
Like,
I'm paying for it, I get to see it.
yeah. So not against her reading it or whatever, but she should have sat with Rocco and had a conversation before she blocked Brit. And
Well,
going to
especially
Brit,
since they've had this conversation.
right, and going to Brit before
And the
going to
one thing she asked
Rocco
was for him to be
again.
honest about it.
Yeah. Right. And if I was Rocco, I would be like, you stood here and asked Charlotte if she was going to go with her dad. And she said, okay, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I miss my dad. I'd like to go with him and whatever. I did feel bad for Lulu with that whole conversation. But I
Oh, me.
also totally understood where Charlotte was coming from. She's like, no fault of your own, but that's my dad. I spent more time with him.
And she told Danny that she might be leaving.
Yes. But for Rocco, I would be like, why are you having these conversations with my sister and you're not asking me? Like, I can promise you I'm not going to run off with Britt, but why can't I sit down and have a conversation with her about the fact that, peas was my favorite food at 4 months old? Because you don't know this. And again,
Right.
not your fault, but I want to know about me.
That was the other thing. When Britt told Brad that she's been talking to Rocco, and he's like, Ben, and she was like, yes, somebody else who knows his name.
We know his name, Britt. I know his name.
Yeah, because then Lulu went to the hospital and confronted Britt.
Yeah.
And oh, I did not like Liz this week when Britt was texting and Liz was behind her and was like, I hope that that's not personal use. We have a policy against using phones for personal use while on the clock. And she's like you never have. And she's like, well, I have kids. No,
Right. It's a
we're saying
policy
it's
or it's not.
policy is policy, then
Es-
policy is policy.
Especially since you're in a management position, like you're supposed to be the example, Liz.
Yep.
Emergency, sure. Like, your kid's in a car accident. Absolutely. I'm glad you answered that call. But your
Yeah.
kid asking you if they can have a can of pop? No, don't be answering that while you're on the clock.
Right. Right. And then Lucas came and was so proud of his letter of recommendation. And this is what triggered, no, it's not. I had already had the thought about David Hayward. Never mind.
Ah,
But he thought that he gave her a glowing recommendation. He talked about how she knows everything inside and out. Oh, another thing we found out about Britt, she also has a degree in physics,
yes.
among other things.
Yes. She's very smart.
But she said that it made her sound like cold and, that she doesn't have good bedside manner. He's like, you don't.
Right, right. She was like, I sound like a robot. And he was like, I mean, if that fits, then.
He's like, you're an excellent doctor, but not an excellent person.
Right. And he didn't say, but she has a horrible bedside manner. I'd rather have an intern than her. He just left it at she has a wonderful, like, she knows her
Right.
stuff. So that's
Right.
not a bad letter, Britt.
No.
He's not
And it's
lying.
probably going to help. Guess what's not going to help? Oh, going and getting arrested for stealing.
Right. Oh, Britt. I just don't understand, like, when she justifies calling Jason and when she doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, what's an emergency and what's not? Because, again, he would have helped her out. And she's,
Oh, and the whole reason that Brad even saw Britt though was because he had just been to see Portia.
yes. And she was like, don't even try to blackmail me. You have nothing on me now, so just stop. She's the one who said to him, you could not possibly run through all of that money already. And he was like, well.
Yep.
And then Isaiah comes in and is like, don't be harassing her. And Brad leaves. And she's like, listen, Brad loves to get information on people. So can you not show any type of favoritism towards me? Because he will absolutely use that to tell the world that we've been having an affair. And then she tells Curtis that she changed her mind. It would just be too complicated for her to go to their house. Again, why are we treating Trina like she's a 4-year-old? Well, I agreed to it yesterday because Trina was sitting there. Okay, Trina could understand it might be a little awkward to stay in the same house as the man you're divorcing. she's
Hmm.
she's again not 4. Um, so she decided she was not going to stay there and left him under the impression that she was going back to the Metro Court, and instead she went to Isaiah's cabin. And he's all mushy gushy of, oh, he wants to take care of her and the baby, and he's dreamt of being a dad like his dad and whatever.
I like that he's at least very aware and communicating that there's a chance he is not the father. So I appreciate that. So when it happens that he's not, we're not going to have him be like, but you led me to believe the baby was mine. He
Right.
keeps saying, if the baby's mine, if in the meantime, I'm going to make sure that you're okay though. So I kind of like that. But then we also saw he had some memories of his own dad,
Yes.
but we didn't get too many details about it.
No.
So is his dad passed? Are they estranged? Do we know his dad?
Right. I don't know. And then Portia just says her same line. I promise this time I'm not going to hide my baby daddy information.
I don't know how she thinks that that's okay to say.
Oh, man.
Like, oh yeah, by the way, my husband's gonna call me any minute now. And that's
Right.
oh, the look on poor Isaiah's face when Curtis called, and he's like, "Oh, that's right, you have a husband."
Yeah. And I
Okay.
know their situation's a little more complicated, Portia and Curtis right now, but I feel like Isaiah could be saying the same thing that Curtis said. Like, you have a husband, but you told me that that wasn't an issue. Like, you said your marriage was over, just like whenever she was cheating on Taggart, she was like, oh, yeah, no, I'm not married or my relationship's ending. Like, how about
Right.
you learn to make sure that all those lines are set in stone before you go hooking up with other people?
Yeah.
I'm trying, is there anything else other than the
Oh yeah.
trial?
Tracy coming back.
Oh yeah, Tracy's home. Yes, I loved Brook Lynn this week with, oh yeah, Dad needs to talk to you, and Tracy's like, okay, what's wrong? And then Gio comes in with all those healthy groceries, and she's like, no one in this house likes kale. What are you talking about? What's going on? And Brooklyn the whole time just has this look like, Dad, you better talk to her and quick because she's gonna start putting stuff together. And so
I just
then,
want to know what farmers market they're going to, because okay, at least around here, farmers markets are outside, and it was single digits this week in Pittsburgh, and where they're supposed to be up in New York is colder because of lake effect. So, which
right.
apparently, okay, if you guys don't know what lake effect is, because apparently it's not like a known thing, it's basically the lakes change the temperature and it actually drops degrees. So, like, we have a wind chill factor here, which again, I guess not all places have. So when the wind's blowing, it actually drops the degrees like 15 degrees. So it could be 40, but it's going to feel 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was single digits here this week. So where's Gio going? Because he didn't have a coat on, is where I was going with the I think that he was outside. If he had come with a coat and been like, man, I'm glad I got the last weekend that, they're having the farmers market because the one local to us went until the weekend before Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
which I was surprised at that. But what farmers market is still going on that has kale, fresh kale in upstate New York right now? Although if they have a greenhouse, I guess, but
I'm just assuming that there's an indoor one somewhere because I don't understand why there aren't indoor ones.
I don't either.
So,
Well, because it's not typical to be able to grow that stuff around here at this time of year.
right, but like you said, a greenhouse, so maybe.
Right. But most of our farms are farms, like
Right.
they're big working farms.
Yes.
So anyway,
Um,
yes, back to Ned.
Yes, so I just loved Brooklyn's face the whole time of like, don't look at me, Grandma, because I'm gonna give everything away. And then Ned finally sat her down and was like, well, I had a bit of a health scare. And she like flipped out on everybody and was like, why didn't you call me? You know, I would have come home. And they were like, yeah, that's why we didn't call you, which I felt so bad for her because that was insulting of like my own son doesn't want me to come and take care of him, or my granddaughter doesn't think that he needs my help. Like I am his mom.
Think that it's also though they didn't want her to worry and she had just gone through all I think if she had just been away on a pampering weekend or something but hadn't just gone through everything with Monica that
Right.
they probably would have, especially if he was not going to be okay, hands down. But I think that when they said like you needed that time, you needed
Yes.
to do that, and Ned did say though, he's like, Olivia was petrified. When she's scared, you pick a fight with her, and I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But she does say that he's not allowed to die before her, and he's cutting out the BLTs, and then they're hovering over him as he's eating an omelet, and he's like, there's no
Yes.
cheddar. And then Brooklyn made him take a nap, and Tracy was
Yes.
really happy to see Brooklyn and Gio getting along. And
Yeah.
then that's when Michael came in, saw Tracy, and they're talking, and then we see somebody. Oh no, before that, Tracy and Brooklyn talked, and she's like, so where's my stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, we forgot about those boxes. And Brooklyn tells her, well, there was a little bit of a hiccup. And Drew is saying that he has just as much right to them as Tracy does. And she's like, he doesn't know who he's messing with. If he does not know by now,
Right. And I feel like, yeah, they absolutely are hers. She inherited the house. Doesn't that mean that unless it's stated otherwise, that she inherited everything in the house?
right. Well, and considering all of those heirlooms were left without even having knowledge of Drew
Right.
by the people who have been deceased for quite some time.
Right. But Drew says that they're his and he's not giving them back no matter what. Which, again, funny, he gets up from the table with Willow to have that conversation because he's not going to show what a jerk he is in front of Willow.
Right.
And so then they call Martin and they're like, okay, Martin, we're not going to take this back to court as far as
So that was at the Metro Court where Joss and Michael were having dinner, and then Drew and Willow were having dinner
yes.
also. this is where, so I like Joss this week. I really, really liked, except for this time where she was like, I'm going to go get a hostess. It's mom's hotel, so I have the right to refuse service. No, you don't.
No,
You just said mom's hotel. But then
right.
Michael mentioned, no, we're not going to do that because we're just not going to do that.
And Michael was trying to be adult about it and was like, just let them eat their meal. We're going to eat our meal. Who cares? And then, of course, Drew has to be like, oh, we're going to go throw this up in his face. And so they get up and walk over to the table. And I just loved that then Michael was like, oh, did Willow tell you how she stopped by the house when she's not allowed? And Drew just got this face. And then he's like, oh, yeah, yeah, of course I knew that. And Michael's like, I don't think you did. So you want to come over
That
here?
was great.
Because Drew like parades her around and she just stands there like, I have to do whatever Drew says. And so I loved that Michael's like, yeah, how about you get the whole story before you come over here acting like you know what you're talking about. And they go back and sit down and Willow's like, I'm so sorry, I should have told you. And he's like, you don't have to apologize for wanting to see your children.
I just don't understand where either of them thought that they weren't going to have an issue going to the grandmother of her children, her ex-husband's mom's place,
Right.
and feel comfortable. Because
Right.
even if Joss and Michael weren't there, there's a good chance the owners would be.
Right. And Willow is talking about just strangers. I feel like even more so if I was on trial for murder, whether I did it or not, the day before at least, I would be like, can we just stay home and order pizza? Like, I don't want to see
Right?
anybody else. I know I didn't do it, but I'm not in the mood. Tomorrow's going to be a draining day. I want to eat some pizza, maybe have a bowl of ice cream and go to bed. Okay.
Well,
So
you
why are
want
we
to have
out and
your
about?
last meal at home.
Right. Right.
Like, what if
Or
this is your last meal at home? What if you are taken away at the end of the day? So I actually have somebody bought me a cookbook of people on death row's last meals,
oh, okay.
and it's prominent known people who and what they had as their last meal.
Or if you're taking me out, take me to where Britt and Brad went and buy me a $2,000 meal
Right?
because it's my last meal. I want to remember every bite. Don't take me
Exactly.
to the Metro Court. I'm sorry, that's not
No,
fancy enough.
no, exactly
So,
right.
um, but anyway, while they're at that meal is when Tracy calls them and he's like, yeah, no. So then they call Martin and they're like, listen, you tried to take our house, so why don't you call your client and tell him to give the stuff back? And so he calls Drew and is like, listen, you really don't have a right to that, so you need to get it over here. And Drew says, no, I'm not giving her back her stuff. You need to do me a favor and see if you can find out any good scoop. So I believe it was Martin who was then stalking the house as we saw Tracy talking to Michael and Michael saying, thank you for not telling anyone that you saw me outside of Drew's house.
Yeah. Well, because she said that she had been down at the crypt talking to Monica and that she knew she
Yes.
didn't just inherit the house, she inherited the family, being the head of the family. And Michael said that she chose a worthy successor.
Yes.
I liked that. And then I think the only
Um,
thing left is the trial.
yeah.
Oh, no, no, no. Okay. Can we at least look at Accuweather or weather.com? Because Sidwell and Laura were not having lunch outside without a heater, not after October.
Well, that's where Drew and them were too.
But even right, but they were have Sidwell and Laura were first. And
Yes.
that tiny little fireplace, no. Even if you have those big plastic sides,
Right.
you still have a ton of heaters. Someone just needs, guys, seriously, somebody just come to Pittsburgh. We're close enough to New York. We'll go out, we'll show you around. You'll understand weather.
Right. Leave your coat at home so you can freeze, and then you'll be like, oh, now I understand.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's what those heaters are for. Okay. I mean, I just went to a place and they had their entire porch enclosed with those big plastic sides
Yes.
and everything, but they had like the run of the roof heater for outside. And it was nice, but I was still wearing a sweater and still had my coat. I
Mm-hmm.
took my coat off for a little bit, but it was still cold.
Right.
But so they went to lunch and Laura's telling him to stay away from her. And even if she plays nice, like in the public now, the public already knows what she thinks of him. So they're not going to buy it, whatever. He says that he's buying Sunny's Piers and needs her endorsement about it. And then Kevin shows up because he called her office
Yep.
and her receptionist, her admin said that she was at the Metro Court and she's like, well, I tell Kevin everything. And this is where Miranda was talking about. that Sybil's like, oh, great, you're one of those couples. And then he's like, well, that's unfortunate because I don't need you, Kevin.
Right.
He needs Sonny, he needs Laura, but he does not need Kevin.
Yeah.
Does Sybil not know who Ryan Chamberlain is?
Right. That's what Kevin should have said. Made some comment about you better hope that the crazy doesn't run in my family, because if I need to take somebody out, I will, just like my brother did.
Yep. Yeah, I think other than court, that's it. Oh, Carly overheard Nina on the phone outside, and she thought that she was trying to get a plane
Yeah.
ready for Willow to go.
Yep, but instead Nina was on the phone with Brennan getting her favor called in that information was going to go missing so that it could be a mistrial or whatever needs to happen for Willow to not be charged.
Well, and Dante and Turner had talked about that before because they were talking about how, they were kind of like, are we doing the right thing? And then she's like, she lied about her alibi twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, and Alexis and Kristina talked before the trial, and that's when Drew and Willow arrived. And Alexis was like, we're not ready. And he's like yelling at Alexis. And she's like,
Right.
your wife is doing a really, really bad job of just sitting there. And
Mm-hmm.
people are going to watch her, even though she's not on the stand. People are going to be watching her, and she's not doing a good job.
Right. And Drew went through all this trial stuff with Carly and the insider trading and all that. Plus, I mean, he's been a businessman for a while. Like, do you not know that they prep everyone for everything? Like, of course, Alexis is
Right,
going to go over this is how you should be sitting at the table. Don't be
right.
crying and hysterical, and don't be sitting there with a big smile on your face. Like, you want to convey.
Oh, that is something that Karen Reed got torn apart for.
Mm,
Any facial expression that she made, because she would get happy when the now super disgraced law, like the
yeah.
new detective, was like getting dragged through the mud. She smirked, and now that's like all people are like, she's guilty. She smirked. You know what? If I was being held on trial for basically 2 years
Right.
because people think that I killed my boyfriend and they've been dragging my name through the mud, and then I just was able to get them exposed as being who they are, yeah, I would be smirking too.
Yeah.
I'd be like, woohoo, I'm not going to be found guilty.
So I feel like Willow did a good job. She drank a lot of water when things were happening that it felt like she didn't want to make a face for it. She'd pick up her water and take a sip.
Yeah,
But
that's a good
Liz,
cover.
yeah, Liz testified and said that yes, the gun was found at her house, and that yes, she was upset though, like the original wedding was called off because she had just found out that Nina was hooking up with Drew, but that she thought Willow was a good mom and a good nurse and a good person, and there you go. And even Kristina, I didn't feel like was that bad towards Willow. She said, I was in this cult and they said, oh, okay, but your brother talked to Willow and Willow talked to you about it. So she was a trusted companion at one point in time when it came to going through the same stuff. So, other than the traffic cam pictures that should be the same as the video that was now lost, I don't feel like they said anything that was that damaging yet. And then Drew flips out on Alexis again, and in the courtroom is like, I'm just going to tell him that Michael did it. I'm just going to get up there and tell him. Like, nobody heard that. Nobody is going to be like,
Right,
excuse me, if you want to talk about this is an injustice going on. Dude's over here saying he doesn't remember, but he's going to get on the stand and say Michael did it.
right.
Ugh. I just, I hate how two-faced Drew is with everything. And right in front of Willow, but not in front of her enough for her to hear, threatening Alexis with, well, you'll just never see Scout again.
I think she heard it. I think
Oh,
she
do
heard it
you?
because I do. Because there was a
Okay,
look
good.
on her face because she was standing right behind him as he said it.
Okay, good. I wasn't thinking that she heard still. And I was like, man, how many times are we going to have to scream this in front of her before she hears it?
Do you know what thought I also had?
What?
What if Drew had himself shot
Oh,
to pin it on Michael
yeah,
so that they could get the kids?
right. Because he was promising her no matter what. That's a
And
good
who would
thought.
also have probably had access to, he could have found his way to get that gun.
I'm surprised that
And
he's not
like
trying to shoot
Brook
his.
Lynn even said, no one ever goes in the den, so no one even noticed that the gun was missing until they came looking for it.
If it's a true limp that he has, though, for medical reasons, I'm surprised that he's not dumb enough to be trying to sue whoever he hired to shoot him then. Like, you were only supposed to shoot up and to the side, and instead you actually hit something.
He just might have thought of it as, you know what, this is part of the price to pay to stick it to them because he thought that he was going to take everybody down with it.
Right.
And that's actually when I had the thought was when there was something that he said. But I was like, oh my
That would
gosh,
be
what if
good.
he hired somebody else to shoot him? And what if it was Jacinda?
You just want this girl to have
I
these
don't want it
skills.
to be, but no, I don't want it to be. But think about the fact that she was connected with Ezra and he and Ezra are so tight. So what if Ezra hooked him up with the person to shoot him? Because I have a feeling Ezra's probably in on this too.
I mean, probably.
I mean, I don't think that he had sex with Jacinda.
God, I hope not.
That's just the only connection. It could have been anyone else also. But I just am
Right. I
wondering.
feel like since he's a congressman and has connections, that he should have had somebody other than Jacinda. I don't want it to be Jacinda.
I don't either. Just the timing of her character coming up it historically falls in line with other things that have
Yes,
happened.
I agree,
But
but
yeah,
I
so I'm
don't.
wondering if Drew had himself shot.
Okay. I'm sticking with my Willow's theory because I am waiting for Drew to say something kind of like what he said to Alexis that just triggers her and her to
Yep.
melt down.
Maybe that was it because did we see anything else after that after he outed her? Because I
No.
think that she overheard it and I think that that
And
was
that
the
was the
end.
end. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that was like the stealth cliffhanger, not the great cliffhanger we
That
had
could
the day
be
before.
right.
I do think that that was it. This was a heavy storyline wise, and then on top of it to have all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So if you guys hung in there with us
Right? I feel like I need a
through
nap. I was
all of this,
exhausted. So sorry, guys.
Do do do. Reality check.
I don't even know what I did this week. Yeah, honest to goodness, just kind of wrapping up work before the holidays. I have my last closing of the year on Tuesday. Had a couple showings, but they're basically like, yeah, we're gonna wait.
Yeah.
And we had a holiday party for one of my networking groups that was like a 60 people came to it. This started off as our Thursday morning group meets at 8 a.m. and it's a smaller group. And it started off years and years and years ago. There was maybe 20, 25 of us that would do the white elephant. And now there was 60 people at this lunch. And somehow we got it done
Oh,
in,
wow.
yeah, got it done in 2 hours, including lunch.
Wow, you're super efficient.
So it wasn't me, but it was, yes, yes, it was good. So, and my daughter came, so that was fun.
Oh, nice.
hmm That's seriously, and we had dinner before our last yoga class of the year with everyone.
Did you use your boozy fudge that we got whenever we met
Yes,
Rena Sofer as
yes,
your gift?
and yes, and I included a $5 scratch off ticket, and I think person that picked up the bag didn't pull out the scratcher ticket.
Oh,
hmm
well, come on, people. That could be a million
I
dollar
know.
winner.
Well, and I said, I was like, there's also a scratch off ticket in it, but again, huge room because people
Mm,
were stealing the ones that had scratch off tickets in it. So part of me is like, did they not see it? Or part of me was like, did they just not want to see it
oh,
so that they
okay.
kept it, which is that's shady. And I don't know the person that, but I also, the person who picked it up is not somebody who typically attends the meetings. So
Okay.
I don't know them. And I hate to automatically assume that.
Right. Well, I'm sad that it wasn't someone that you knew better though, because that was a good present. So I would like to have heard them be like, "Oh my gosh, where did you find this? This is so yummy."
Yep. Yep. How about you?
It was a pretty chill week. Wednesday I went out to dinner with a friend because her birthday was last week and we just had not had time to catch up or whatever. And we went to Outback and I had to get their holiday drink, which is a gingerbread martini, because it comes with
Ooh.
a little koala bear that is dressed in a Santa suit that clips onto the stem of the glass. So I'm not usually a martini person, but it was good. They
That is
do
adorable.
they do also have a dirty soda type non-alcoholic that you can also get the Clippy Bear if you are not into drinking or not of age to drink. But
Good.
yeah, I went for the gingerbread martini. It was yummy. I just not my favorite. Friday, I went over to my sister's house, and her husband and me and Ryan and Matt and his girlfriend just did like a little painting activity, which I again have no artistic ability whatsoever, but I was trying. It resembles the tree. It has the stuff that's needed on it. And just had dinner and just good conversation. And my sister's husband loves to bartend and make like fancy holiday drinks that we've never had before. I have no idea what's in them, but they're
Oh,
always delicious. And so that was what we did for the evening. And so it was just nice. Matt will be away for Christmas at his girlfriend's sister's house, so I will not get to see them. So it's just nice to spend as much time as I can with them before they go and do their things.
is
So
this your first Christmas? You're not going to see him on Christmas or
it is,
Christmas Eve?
yes. Well, I should
Are
see
you
him
okay?
Christmas. I should see him Christmas Eve because they're not leaving until Christmas Day. Um, I am okay just because I know that this is like the point. Like this is what you're supposed to do with your
Right,
kids.
I
You're
know. Yeah.
supposed to grow them up to the point that they have their own lives and their own whatever. I did mention to his girlfriend yesterday that I feel like being so accepting gives me credit. So down the line, years from now, whenever there's grandkids, I will get to be like, you know what, your sister's kids are older now, so they can travel here and you should
Right?
probably stay in the area with the babies so that I get my Christmas snuggles with my grandkids. But that's obviously years from now. And if that's not what I get, then I'll be okay with that too. So that is that. But I mean, again, it's sad because I feel like we all hate our kids growing up to that point that they don't
Thanks
need
for
us.
finishing that
But
sentence.
yeah.
You paused after we hate our kids.
We hate our kids. No, we hate our kids
I'm
growing
sure if you've
up.
been listening to the show for any length of time, you know how much we both adore our children. So,
There are times I dislike them, but I've never used the word hate. No, we hate our
yeah.
kids growing up because, we all just like the little kid time better where they need us and whatever. But
Have you seen the
that's the
TikTok
point.
trend where like moms tell their sons there's this whole thing, the last that like you won't know the last time you ever pick them up, and so they pick them up just in case it's the last time?
I have not seen that, but Madeline loves to say that to me. So she has seen
Yeah,
that. She just turned 13, like we've talked about, and so I think she's feeling a lot of the emotions of she's not sure where she falls as far as kid or adult. And so she loves to say that stuff to me. Like she'll ask me to snuggle with her at night, and if I'm doing something, I'm like, oh, I can't right now, but I'll be up in a few minutes, or not tonight, but tomorrow night, because snuggling with her is not like a 5-second thing. Like she wants you to lay there for a good hour and just talk about whatever, which
yeah,
I try to do every time she asks, but sometimes logistically I just can't. And so
right,
whenever I say I can't, she is quick to be like, this could be the last time that I ask you. And I'm like, shut up. You're going to ask me again tomorrow and I'll be there. I pinky promise. But for right now, I can't because I'm doing this or whatever.
right.
So, but yeah, that's kind of, I don't know. I'm trying, like I said at the beginning of this month, I'm trying to enjoy the moments of the season instead of all the stuff with the season. So it was nice to paint ridiculous things and eat yummy food and drink yummy drinks and just talk about whatever with my son and his girlfriend and my sister and brother-in-law. And Ryan too,
You
I
might want to
guess,
start doing something that I started a few years ago where I make like photo albums of everything that we've done throughout the year. I've skipped some years,
just
but
gonna
that
say,
way, like,
I
that's what they get
feel,
for Christmas. Like, I made us full albums for Boston, and then I
oh,
made
that's cute.
myself, my daughter, and Erica one for just our girls' trip. So that way, when they open it, they'd be like, wow, this was a really good year. And they get to keep that, and it's something that's always going to be. And there's definitely been years that I have not made them, but my daughter still goes and grabs like the
Oh,
earlier
that's
ones and
sweet.
like looks through them and is like, remember when we did this? I did not do a full year one for this year just because I was doing the other two.
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted to do one for Paul McCartney and ran out of time. That's what I was doing when I said that I was running when I didn't want to do the didn't want to record on Monday.
Got it.
Yep,
Yes, I
that was
remember
that.
you
And that's
saying.
what I was doing while I was listening to All's Fair, was finishing up the
Mm.
while I was listening to one of the least family friendly shows. I was doing a very family friendly thing. But it does. It helps refocus on this is what it is, not
Right.
stuff.
Love it.
But yeah, so join us on Thursday as we bawl our eyes out.
Officially finish Bobbie.
Yes,
We'll be okay.
sure.
So have a good weekend. No, yeah, have a good
Week.
week. Oh my
Week.
God. Have a good Christmas week.
Oh, yes. Oh, wait. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate. Happy,
Right.
joyful, merry, woohoo, all of it.
Yes, exactly. Whatever
If you don't celebrate everything, hope you have a good day.
Exactly. Whatever your moments are, happy of those. There you go.
Yes. Happy moment.
Happy moments.
All right. So, yeah, if you really want to ruin your Christmas, make sure that you listen to us talk about Luke and Bobbie dying on Christmas morning.
No, don't do that. I'm sorry. This is the one
I
time.
almost feel like maybe we shouldn't release. Okay, I almost feel like maybe we should not release that this week, and maybe we should just release something fun. Do you just want to re-release something fun?
We could re-release the
Because here's the deal. If we release Bobbie on New Year's Day, it'll actually be the day that they announced that she died.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
All right.
hold
let's
Bobbie
do
for that. Wasn't our first Christmas, this is like might be a little cringe to use the kids' language, but wasn't our first Christmas a Christmas episode?
Probably.
Like we rehashed
Yeah.
past Christmases?
Yep.
Can we re-release that?
Yep. I'll go pull a few and I'll send them to you.
Okay.
Yeah, so now we don't have to ruin the rest of our days
Okay.
or our weekend,
Okay.
and we get to enjoy Christmas. There we go. So I'm also going to take this chunk and put it at the beginning of the show because we know some people don't listen to Reality Check and they're going to be like, what the heck?
What happened between the weekend and Christmas? But no, we don't want anyone crying on Christmas for sad things. It should be all joyful tears. So have a good week.
And we'll meet at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Peer 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.